These are the victims of school shootings, 1999 to the present. Cassie Bernhall, 17. Stephen Curanow, 14. Corey DePuter, 17. Rachel Scott, 17. Isaiah Scholes, 18. Alicia White, 15. Neva Rogers, blue. Ryan Christopher Clark. Arthur Michelle Floyd. Henry Lee. Lithiu the Rescue. Paraji.
In the wake of the school shooting, my friend Whitney and I decided that we wanted to do something about it. The politicians keep saying that they're sorry for the victims and their family, but they're not doing anything about it, and my friend Whitney and I believe that something needs to be done. We believe that there needs to be background checks before all gun sales, but this isn't supposed to be the Republicans against the Democrats. It should be everyone coming together and deciding that something needs to be done, because at the end of the day, there are kids in school that are worried about their safety.
But anyone else like to stand up? Piece of trash. She can step where she wants. It's a piece of trash.
Friends' lives are on the line. I would rather give up my freedom to make sure that every single American child, including myself, is happy.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
You know what I want me to do?
Tell me what you want.
I'm fine keeping the Second Amendment. I'm fine with that. But I'm not fine with the fact that guns are so easily accessible. I'm saying make gun restrictions a fit.
They are. You have to have a background check to buy guns.
That's not enough in this country, apparently.
What do you want to do?
We need more.
What do you want to do?
Mental
check. We want more armed, trained, armed people in schools to protect our children. We want more trained. You can disagree with that.
Why do you want 10 kids?
I want armed. I want people like in the building.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Depression hurts in so many ways. Sadness, loss of interest, anxiety. Cymbalta can help. Cymbalta is a prescription medication that treats many symptoms of depression. Tell your doctor right away if your depression worsens, you have unusual changes in behavior, or thoughts of suicide. Antidepressants can increase these in children, teens, and young adults. Cymbalta is not approved for children under 18. Walking, eating, driving, or engaging in other activities while asleep without remembering it the next day have been reported. Abnormal behaviors may include aggressiveness, agitation, hallucinations, or confusion.
Zoloft, the #1 prescribed brand of its kind. Zoloft. When you know more about what's wrong, you can help make it right.
Parents, it would have a shocking, would be shocking, I think, to the millions of parents who prescribe this for their kids if it was finally explained to them, if this is the case, that this perhaps occurred for no other reason other than because of these prescriptions.
Back now with Jesse Ventura and our live studio audience. Gun control. This is something I've been very animated about all this year, with all the various gun outrages, especially the appalling thing at the cinema in Colorado. Why is it that Americans, to me it seems, so many Americans cannot divorce their right to defend themselves with a gun to the apparent right to go and buy 6,000 rounds of ammunition, high-powered assault weapons, and go and murder Americans?
Well, the best thing I can tell you, Piers, is this. Mexico has strict gun control. You cannot own a gun in Mexico, and they had 20,000 people dead last year in the drug cartel war.
America, 11,000 to 12,000 a year. This country has more guns than anybody else and more gun murders. It's inarguable, isn't it?
No, not at all.
It is.
Because I was in the Philippines physically the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and made himself a dictator. And the first thing that dictator did, he gave the people of the Philippines 2 weeks to turn in all their guns, or it was the death penalty. Now, why would a dictator do that? Why would he make his #1 priority when he took over as dictator to disarm the public? The Second Amendment is there, and it was put in there not for hunting and fishing like they like to say, because back when they did it, if you didn't hunt or fish, you didn't eat. It was put in there so the citizens would have the ability, if their government became oppressive, they could defend themselves against oppressive government. And I think that overrules all the gun deaths, because let's remember something. A gun is simply a tool. I have a gun safe at home, and I've never come home and heard those guns going off. on their own. People kill people. All right, how many people here die because of car accidents of drunk driving? Do we go to the Ford Motor Company and tell them stop making these automobiles because people get drunk and kill people in cars?
It's a facile argument.
It's a what?
It's a facile argument. There's no equivalence between drunk driving and lethal firearms. My point is...
Wait a minute. A car is a 2,000-pound projectile that can go 100 miles an hour.
Jesse, I have no problem with an American believing that their right under the Constitution is that they can defend themselves, especially in their own home, if they're being attacked and they have a weapon.
It's also against government.
I have a big problem with a disturbed young man, as we saw in Colorado, being able to buy 6,000 rounds of ammunition and a high-powered assault weapon and go into a movie theater and blow away 70 Americans. I have a big problem with that.
Well,
and nobody else in America in high office seems to share that big problem.
Well, I'll tell you what, Piers, I have a conceal and carry license. Had I been in there, I would have taken this guy out before he could have killed that many people.
Well, I think that, again...
But because, let's remember, police can't stop crimes. Police show up after they're over. Remember that. So when you talk about me not being able, if there would have been a legitimate conceal and carry in that theater, quite possibly they could have taken this guy out and saved people's lives.
Or you could have had the gunfight at the OK Corral in there and lost even more lives, couldn't you? That's what could happen. Anyway, let's take a break.
What roll of the dice would you like? You'd prefer to be unarmed? How many people here think I make crackpot points?
Yeah?
1. How many think I make sensible points? You're in a minority, my good friend. You're the minority.
I said you made some sensible points. Let's go to another audience question from Jared Grossman.